It's the Bacon, Egg, and Cheese Show with Lady Love, Bad Bunny, and that go by Miss Lissa. We gon' wake that ass up. Alright, it's the Bacon, Egg, and Cheese Show, and Cheese Show. We give you what you need, yo. You need, yo. Every 3 times a week, yo. A week, yo. It's the Bacon, Egg, and Cheese Show, and Cheese Show.
Yeah, bacon, egg, and cheese about to wake that ass up. Girl, who is you playing with? Wake that ass up. Told your big daddy when you wake your ass up. Yo, what is you waiting for? Wake that ass up.
After we do the show, then stop. Then what? Subscribe it like it's hot. After we do the show, then stop. Now what? Subscribe it like it's hot. Now subscribe it like it's hot. Now subscribe it like it's hot. BEC, so subscribe it like it's hot. So subscribe it like it's hot. So subscribe it like it's hot. BEC, so subscribe it like it's hot. So subscribe it like it's hot. Subscribe it like it's hot.
We got our guests in the building. All right.
Where's Lissa? We gotta get.
I don't know. I said so.
You gotta put. Yo, can you put bad boy this, bad boy that?
Yo, chill out, my guy. Chill out. You already know what's going on. Hey, yo, chill out, man. Let me do my job. Shorty.
Yo,
Let me
wow.
do my job. Ladies and gentlemen, we got bad boy. This bad boy. Let's go. I don't need to push up, bro. I'm the ghetto superstar. Chopper, what up? We got Chopper in the comments. I'll solve it. We solve it. My ass.
Talking, better tucking your chain, bitch. You keep on walking. You a thug, why you keep on talking? Let's get it cracking. Get the real stuff. I'm done in the club. I make it happen. I got this. Niggas that let me out. Hot chicks, big thing. When I open my mouth, believe it.
Bad boy,
My hair not
bad boy,
bad boy,
get down with baseball bat. Let's go.
Since I made the bed, nobody gave a damn. No one gave a hand. Made man, wave your hand.
Let's go, Miss Lissa.
I'm trying hard to look at you, man. Supposed to wear me a maintenance man. A janitor. Yo, don't let me
Baby manager.
Keep your hands out my pocket.
Miss Lissa, you delayed.
Like I'm playing for the Rockies, boy. You got to bring it on.
delayed.
You boy. I'm feeling hype. I can't be hyped now. It's a delay. I'm having a bathroom with the windows on.
See? We got Chopper in the comments.
See?
We got Chopper in the comments.
Well, he was on the top, so now he gotta stay strong.
I was gonna say Chopper. Here we go, yo. We're gonna say
now
Chopper.
we see. You gotta give people their flowers. I couldn't help myself. Okay.
Yeah. I was mad delayed too. Yeah, I was going.
Delay, baby. Okay. You over there? I guess Mercury must be in haterade right now.
All right, I was just trying to tell you for purposes for
We
when
know
they
what's
edit,
the
but you
delay,
can yell
baby.
at me
We've
if
been
you
doing
want.
this show for
Shout
8
out
months.
Nerd Boy. Shout out Nerd Boy. Titties just popping in his Nerd Boy shirt. Let's go.
Ew. Oh, and shout out
Ness was
Mr.
good,
Snow.
my guy.
Ness was good.
Was cracking.
Welcome to the Bacon, Egg, and Cheese Show, man. You already know the vibe. We are so grateful to have you up here today to rock out with us. You already know. This is my fucking brother right here, man.
No.
This is my guy.
No doubt.
Yes. Yes.
What?
Well, we're definitely excited to have you on the show. Ness, Philadelphia's own. From musician to mogul, he now has his own cheesecake brand. Welcome.
Yes, thank you. Black business
That's right.
owner.
That's
Appreciate
right.
that. Man,
Yeah, that was a.
You definitely. I got my own cheesecake company, and it's doing well. It's gaining in awareness. So everybody that's want to place your order, we working on some things right now because of COVID reasons. But make sure you hit the cheesecake page. That's at Ness Cheesecake. NESSCHEESECAKE.
Yeah, we got that right there. We got a pin.
It's pinned in the comment. Yo, Ness, I'm not even gonna hold you. I seen that shit and I was kind of hating on the low. I was like, damn, why I ain't think about this shit? I said, I'm gonna have to come out. I said, he got the Philly cheesecake. I'm gonna have to come out with the strawberry Brooklyn cheesecake.
Hey,
I could do a cheesecake too. Strawberry cheesecake.
hell yeah.
Well,
listen,
congratulations on that. Congratulations to get that. Now, are y'all doing deliveries or do people have to walk and get it?
We'd rather you walk and get it so you can experience the whole, experience for the cheesecake. But no, but it's funny that you said that because if you go into juniors, we are on the wall of fame in juniors. As soon as you walk in, we right there. And they kind of like got our whole walk, the miles and all that documented right there. So anytime you go in juniors in Brooklyn, we are part of history. Appreciate it.
Yeah, y'all made it popping.
Yeah.
The hell?
Babs, did you share, Babs, where did you share the story about you guys actually walking with the camera crew? Was that here on the show or
Yeah,
was that
like
with Freddie?
yeah, like listen, we walked, the camera crew had to walk, and the camera crew walked with cameras and big heavy cameras. This was back then before they had the little cameras that they have now. So they had the big heavy cameras and they was walking with that. Yes. Ness, did you walk back with us or you got in the cab?
I can't remember.
Yo, you
can't remember.
You got in the cab.
I can't remember.
Can we talk a little bit about that moment?
No, hold on. Going back to that night, I just felt that, like, even though we all had got kind of like cursed out
Ness,
that
you
night.
breaking up, Ness. Ness, you breaking up. I don't know if it's your Wi-Fi.
Yeah, you breaking up like Kim and Kanye.
Yeah,
you don't know what's going on.
Why would you say that, Miss Lissa? Ice cold.
Can you hear me now?
He's coming back in.
Is it still
You there?
Still a little shaky.
Ness, you might have to drop and come back up, Ness.
All
right, so yeah.
That Philly Wi-Fi type spooky. That Philly Wi-Fi spooky.
You stupid.
But
Let's
before he
bring
comes up, can you tell us a little bit about that moment, Babs? Because I remember watching it and how y'all was so excited coming in. Y'all all got picked and y'all all looking good. New wigs, new hair, new shirts, new Timbs, new jeans, new jackets. And then y'all go upstairs and Diddy is like excited. He's like, I could really use some cheesecake. And when he said that y'all needed to go walk for the cheesecake, I saw some of y'all faces like, what the hell? What was going through your mind at that moment?
Well, it was my face because nobody else was from New York. So they didn't realize how far we had to walk. So it was really me. Like, it was really me who understood the assignment. You know what I'm talking about? And so, like, yeah, it was crazy. Like, when I heard it, I'm like, hey, what's going on here? And so if you go back to watch the episode, I was crying. Like, real tears, crying. Like, this nigga Puff crazy. He got us walking for cheesecake all the way to Brooklyn. I'm going to be on TV. Niggas going to be looking at me like I'm crazy. This all the shit that I'm saying. I'm crying. I'm like, yeah. So, it was real.
You had Timbs on? Somebody wrote in the comments you had brand new Timbs on.
I definitely had on
I told you, I saw new everything. They was
definitely had on
money.
Timbs. And I definitely truthed it from Manhattan to Brooklyn, back from Brooklyn to Manhattan. So it was a troop.
But everybody didn't troop. Some people took a cab.
Some people took a cab back. I know Fred was one of them. I know Chopper was one, but it was a third person in that cab, and that's why I was trying to figure out if it was Ness. But I kind of think Ness walked back with us because I kind of remember him walking inside the lobby when we got back. So I think he walked back. Where is Ness? Ness, where you at? The Philly Wi-Fi is spooky.
And remember when that dropped the cheesecake, was the store really closed or could y'all really go back in and get another piece?
Nah, the store was definitely closed.
Oh, snap.
What about?
Welcome back.
What are we doing now? How's does it sound now?
What are we? You look clear. Don't
Way
come
better.
here looking crazy because you got that A1 Wi-Fi now.
You put the
You
antenna up, baby.
Wi-Fi. Watch how you talk to us in here.
Yo.
Now, Babs was just giving the backstory on how she had on brand new Timbs, and my feet started hurting just thinking about that walk right now. Just that whole situation. If you're from New York City, if you're not from New York City, was y'all on like 38th, 36?
We was on 40. Nah, we was on
West
38.
44. West 44.
We was on 44th and 9th.
Yo, that's more than 44 blocks, ladies and gentlemen. Those
This
New
is
York
what I'm
City
talking
blocks.
about.
They had to walk all the way down. Then they was down in the village. They had to walk through the village. They had to walk through Chinatown. Y'all walked across the Brooklyn Bridge?
We walked over the Brooklyn Bridge. Then once we got over the Brooklyn Bridge, we had to walk 2 juniors.
Let me see what that. Let me see how far this shit is.
Very far. It was too
I live
far,
in Hell's
okay?
Kitchen. I've never walked to Brooklyn.
That was a marathon, okay? We walked a fucking marathon. We should have got fucking, well, we got checked, but
we should have got a medal.
Trophy. Yeah, it's better than the medal. Come on, B, like, get out of here.
Yo,
so how did you feel when, even though you're not from New York, when Diddy said, you know, you have to walk for Cheesecake, did you feel like it was above you? Did you feel like you was ready for the task? Like, how did you feel?
I had mixed emotions about it. At first, hearing it first, I'm like, no, we're not doing that. And then, we got on the way down, all of us like, yo, is we gonna walk or we not? We was contemplating whether we was gonna do it. And at that time, I think we still had our phones. So I called home. Like, I called home to my neighborhood to, like, the people that was like running my neighborhood streetwise. So it was like an OG call for me. The person that was running my neighborhood at that time, I said, do I walk or do I come home? And the OG was like, you better not come here without nothing.
Hello.
So it wasn't whether I wanted to walk or not. It was the neighborhood made that call. The neighborhood that I came from was like, no, if you're going to be up there with that, see it all the way out. Don't come home because of that. Mm-hmm.
Yo, so according to Google, that's a 2-hour and 9-minute walk.
Nigga, y'all
did it both ways.
And back. Son.
Did y'all rest? Did y'all stop? Did y'all have cheesecake before y'all came back?
We stopped. We chilled for a minute. We was vibing. I think we got a little bit to eat or whatever. And then, and that's by the time we got back, Puff was already gone because we did stop and we did chill for a minute.
Yeah. So did anyone ever eat the cheesecake, or it was just a TV moment?
I didn't eat that shit. I know niggas in the office ate that shit, but I ain't eat it.
That was historic cheesecake. They should have that in like a plaque on the wall. Like, this is a 5-hour trip right here.
It's a plaque on the wall in Juniors.
Okay. Y'all gotta do that. Y'all deserve that.
It's literally a plaque on the wall, and they get like the whole distance. They show like the little dots from where we started to where we ended through the whole city, through the whole thing in there. Yeah.
You guys are part of pop culture. You guys are very historic because you were like one of the first
black cast.
The first all black cast, and then like the first with a television show like that. When it comes to reality TV was always, some other type mess, but you guys were like the first historic, music show, all black cast and things of that nature. Can you fill me in on what the process was for you guys to even get chosen to be on that show? Because I know that there's people who say, I should have been on the show, and motherfucker, you weren't on the show. So can you guys explain to me how that process went?
I think me and Babs' story is kind of similar. I think from my experience, I had auditioned twice. I auditioned once in Philly, and then I auditioned like a month later in Philly again. And then the second time that I auditioned, I was put back on a list to audition in front of Puff in New York. Well, my story go that once he picked like who he was going to pick on the first, like when he first did it, he didn't think that he had enough talent. And then he did it all over again. And then I took another crack at it, and then I ended up making the callback list. And Babs, I think she had the same type of energy. I think she was like she had like somebody that was close to what they was doing, and so she knew when and where to show up. So that was kind of like my thing. I had an inside person.
Some Brooklyn shit. That's some Brooklyn shit. They always got the drop on what's happening. Yeah. Be careful when you're trying to cross somebody from Brooklyn. They 2 steps ahead of you.
Right, but so it's not to take nothing away from our talent, because it's our talent that ultimately got us there. But we kind of was already doing our thing out here, making our alliances and meeting the right people that put in these positions to have these opportunities.
Yes,
somebody said you and Babs had a battle. You guys had a rap battle. You guys battled each other.
Everybody
was
down.
a little something when we had to battle in the house.
Yeah,
But,
we had that in the house.
yeah, but
See, Babs didn't make the house initially. Puff just woke up one morning and just was like, "No, bring Babs back." She was the wild card.
That's what God
because,
talked about.
Yeah, because and then I loved it so much because the female artists that had made the house, they got comfortable, and I was like kind of like I was in a low key. I was low key like making trouble in the back, so I was like, "Fuck it." Yeah, I was like, "Good." Babs gonna come back there and shake the building because all these bitches then got comfortable.
Mina.
And she's the one with the fucking lyrical talent, and she got the whole package. You know what I'm saying? And when she came back, I was happy because she kind of like was the closest thing to what I was doing as far as lyricist wise. Feel me?
Yeah, and they and them bitches was mad. And remember, they kicked Mina out her bag.
Yeah, that's
They
what.
gave me her bag. Yeah, they
Right.
told her she had to go sleep on the couch.
Right.
And they gave me her bag.
Right.
So she was in her feelings. She was feeling the way. But at that time, I was like, ain't no way I'm going back home. Because
Right.
just like Ness, I auditioned twice.
Right.
And the first time I auditioned, I didn't get picked. I actually froze. Like, I fucking choked. Like, yeah.
Hey, yo.
I fucking got up. Yo, deadass. And let me tell you this shit, right? So I'm preparing for the audition. And I write a whole new rhyme. And my manager said, bitch, do not go spit that rhyme. You need to spit something that you already know, like the back of your hand. And I'm like, what? Nah, I got this, because I done added bad boy. You know how it is as a rapper. You know what I mean? You like, nah, I'm going in. I done added bad boy, Diddy, all this shit. Yo, nigga, I got 4 bars in and went blank. Like, and I couldn't, I was done. I got in the car. I started crying. My manager was like, oh, bitch, you crying. You talk all that tough shit and you in here crying. I just started swinging on that nigga. I was like, shut up.
Right.
I was going crazy on that nigga. And then he was like, you going back. Because they had a 2-day audition.
Right.
And I went the first day. And he was like, you going back tomorrow. And I was like, why would I go back? That don't make no sense. They not going to pick me. I'm boo-hoo crying. And he was like, you going back. You going back. And then I went back the next day and I spit the rhyme that he originally told me to spit. And so it was a done deal after that.
So how many people were there auditioning? Because it's like you guys are like a needle in a haystack. You guys are like the golden ticket for Willy Wonka. Like how many other people did
Over
you guys
40,000.
have to demolish?
Or the 40,000.
Crazy.
40,000, B. That shit was at that time. It was a really big deal. Like, them lines was long. Motherfuckers was out there. Like, the first day that I auditioned, I went out there the night before. And I slept out there. Me and my manager was out there. I was first on fucking line. Like, at the end of the day, because I used to work in theater. And when we used to give out free tickets to Shakespeare in Central Park, the white people would bring their tents and sit outside the night before so they could get their tickets.
Right.
So I said, I'm on my white people shit. What? I got off work and went straight to Webster Hall. That night, they was having a party. I told the security, I said, yo, nigga, I'm out here when y'all shut down the club. Make sure you know I was first here. He said, yo, I got you. I went in my manager's truck. I went to sleep. When the club shut down, my manager said, it's go time, bitch. And it was go time. And even though I choked, I went back the next day. And I got my fucking ass in them doors, like, period.
That's amazing.
And so for me and Ness, we was already trying to get a deal before making the band. We was already in the studios. We was already shopping music, already having meetings with niggas, already vibing with niggas, doing shows. So for us, it was like, all right, we here. We got our deal that we've been working so hard for. I know that's how I felt.
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt. That's exactly how I felt.
Yeah.
So
was there
how
ever a moment where you guys were thinking about quitting, like during the show, like any time where you just like, you know what, I don't want to do this. Like, it's too much.
I never felt like quitting.
Even when they had y'all waking up to do those workouts and all of that stuff, and never.
No, it was a lot, but I never was like, I don't want this. That never was like, nah, I'm done with this. Like, no.
Man, for me it was just like it was just a survival thing, of survival reasons for me. I was actually hiding from the Commonwealth, being on Making the Band. Like I was running from the law. Had fresh come out of jail. I had been out of jail for 2 years on a drug charge that I had got convicted of. So I had went AWOL on my probation. So I was actually hiding on the Making the Band show. And Babs will tell you, they had to write a letter for me to go home and see my probation officer. It was like a shot in the dark. Like, yo, he might be one of the people that we picked. So let him come back up there. But when I went back to Philly that time, it was like 100% chance that they would like rearrest me, and I wouldn't even been able to make the show.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, and so
Yo,
shout out
crazy.
to Diddy, because Diddy wrote them letters, nigga.
Yeah,
And
he
wrote
did.
some shit for
Yeah.
Dylon too.
Yeah.
He
And
did,
was,
yeah.
And niggas
Yeah.
was free.
Right.
Niggas was free. If I ever get in trouble, I'm calling Diddy like, nigga, yeah. Write
So
them letters.
like, oh, y'all walk for Cheesecake, nigga. I was on the run. I didn't know that it was a TV show until like later on the shit. Like, yeah, we've been trying to get a deal, but I didn't understand the dynamics of how big the production would have been and what we was getting ourselves into. All I heard
Right.
was like open invitation and audition for a Puff that he put in the group together. I didn't know how iconic and that he fused the Making a Band imprint with it, and it was reality TV. I didn't know how big it was. So when I found out like the cameras was being like we was being recorded day and night, like I had to, you know what I'm saying, go check in with the people in Philly. And I was scared to death, almost to the fact that to the point I didn't really want to go home because it was a big chance that they could have kept me. And then I even made the show or made the group at all.
Well, that's God. So how was it moving in? Like you guys, okay, now everybody's living together. How did it feel moving in with strangers, or did everybody just get along with each other from the rip? Like, how was that?
I was pretty cool, man. I was like, me and Babs had our little thing about the joint, but you gotta understand, we was all forced into one house. They took away all our phones. Everybody had separate managers. They had separate hairdressers and barbers. So they really put us in situations where it would make conflict. And they knew putting 6 people that never lived in a house together and giving them one phone to share, it would be chaotic, and it makes good TV. So some of these things was done on purposely to make us conflict and go back and forth with each other. Because without that, we'd just be smoking and making good music and vibing with each other. So that they would have to create situations where it would cause conflict.
Exactly. And when I think back of it, like, you know, when I don't know for you, Ness, but I know I had a big ass pamphlet where they was doing, like, you know, asking you all these questions about your life. And, you know, the casting director, that is their job. And so they go through this shit and they like, oh, okay, well, Babs, the hi-hat, and then we got this nigga over here, and then we got this chick over here, and she might not get Babs might not get along with her. And so this is all this therapist,
right?
Like, you know, and they putting this shit together, and that's how they come with this cast. And so we don't know each other. We all walking in there, happy to be here. We getting our shot. But at the end of the day, we had to get to know each other. And like any family, you will beef with your family. And at the end of the day, we really became family. And so people seeing people fighting, people arguing. But if you pull some cameras in people's real houses, you will see them arguing and fighting a lot of times with family members. So at the end of the day, that's just what it was. And so, you know, we was able to do all of that and still get on stage and act like none of that shit happened. But when them cameras came on and it was like action, when it was time for us to perform, we was like bad boy this and bad boy that, smiling and hugging. And then we get off the stage and niggas is like, yeah, fuck this nigga, da 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 da. And then you good a few days later. Like,
it was like it was like a house full of brothers and sisters at one point. And Puff, a lot of things that was done, it was done to rally against him, to bring us closer together against him. Because on the road, that's all we got is us. So we in different climates, territories, different cities. Certain cities got gang culture. Certain cities got this type of culture. And we in all these markets promoting the album, and we got to stick together. So a lot of things that was done purposely for us to get mad at him to bring us to the unit. Because
exactly
on
the road, that's all we got is us, the 6 of us.
Yeah, speaking of on the road, you know, I've spoken to so many people who are still in television. Like I've been doing music placements now, Ness, and I speak to people who started off on you guys' show. And I get
So-
to hear so many stories. Like, shout out to my guy Shannon. I hooked him up in Babs in the DM. Because Shannon telling me stories about y'all on tour. Shout out to Glenda Cox, my partner in Lucky Sounds. Glenda as well started off over there. Like, you guys are really historic, you know, and you guys open up the door for a lot of people. And just hearing your story, a lot of rappers wouldn't do that. You know, a lot of rappers wouldn't have the gall to go sit outside the night before. A lot of rappers aren't hungry enough. You know, a lot of people just want things easy and want it their way. So you guys really put in a lot of work. How was it going on tour for like the first time? If you've never been on tour before, of course we all did local shows, but how was it like your first tour? You see this crowd, this audience is like crazy.
We adjusted. I think, like, I only can speak for me and Babs, because they put, like, okay, you gotta understand. Anytime we had the tour, they put the two girls together, which was Babs and Sara, and then Chopper and me, which is the oldest and the youngest, and then Fred and Dylan would be together. Fred and Dylan got along.
The
Babs,
Island Boys.
Yeah, Babs and Sara got along depending if Tony was around or not. But me and Chopper, we got along, but we didn't, because it was like big brother, little brother. So we were always, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so like filled like over after the show was over. But for me, it was good because I was 25, and the criteria to making the group, you had to be from 18 to 24. So I was a ringer the whole time. So every day I woke up inside the competition, I thought it was my last because of my age. So anytime I made it or got past the competition or they wasn't telling me to go home, I was like, good day at the job. You know what I'm saying? Like, home today. You know what I'm saying? So that was my whole thing. Anything to keep from Philly, and what that, you know, what was waiting for me back there which was jail time or either getting killed or shot or some bullshit. So like that was my salvation making the band. I ain't gonna hold you.
That's fine.
Yeah, tour was a lit situation for me. Like, it was new, but it was lit. You know, we traveled a lot. It like a lot of things could be a fog because you living in the moment and you going from spot to spot to spot to spot. Hey.
Yo,
welcome back.
We in here rocking. The enemy been against us today, man. It's either the Wi-Fi, the phone overheating, everything. But so where were we, guys? Where were we? Because I heard so much fire.
Babs, you take the floor. I
was talking about, you know, how we had the Michael Jackson, Ness said Black Beatles moment, you know, where we was literally chased, you know, people trying, like, we was running from motherfuckers. Yeah. And then I was asking Ness, did he remember the time we had a sign in that Foot Locker? I don't know what state we was in. I think it was the South, one of them places, somewhere in the South.
It was.
And we had a sign in that Foot Locker, and they was like, yo, we can't even do this shit. We got to shut this shit down. They're about to break through the glass. Like, and so they had to get us out through the back. Like, we in a mall. They had to sneak us out through the back. Like, we used to sneak through different ways. I remember we went to a party. They made us go through an alleyway. We had to climb up some shit. Remember that shit, man? Like, we climbing up motherfucking fire escape with some shit, stairs shit coming in through the back. Like, yeah, it was some crazy times.
Yo, shout out Rome. Rome is in the comments. I know Rome was heavy with Bad Boy Street Team at one time.
Shout out Rome.
Shout out
Rome. Shout out Bad Boy Street Team, the #1 street team in the industry. They put in mad work. They got knocked mad times. You know what I'm saying? Because they was out there putting in that work. And shout out to Rome because, like, they was the ones that was out there promoting the band project. Going mad,
Rich
fucking
Dollars.
hard, yup.
Rich Dollars. Yeah, that nigga was a part of Bad Boy before he went over there. For all this motherfucking hip hop and love fame, Rich Dollars and niggas like Stevie J, the same niggas that like the main players on it today, was the same niggas telling me and Babs and all the rest of us, yo, the cameras is working against y'all. That's what's working against y'all.
Wow.
Rich Dollars and fucking Stevie J is two of the biggest hip hop reality fucking stars ever. And these was the same two niggas telling us that the cameras was working against us. Fun fact.
But so it's like you
first
you
they
almost,
hate, then they want to do the same play, baby.
It's like you guys taught them. It's like you guys showed them the keys to life. It's like you came in there. It's always been like that because people said that about battle rap. People always say that like, yo, don't do it, and then they go try it. So you guys are like the pioneers of this thing. You know what I mean? And they had to learn from you guys. They took a page out of your book. So I mean, I'm just honored to call you guys friends and just be a part of this situation.
Would you do reality television again?
In a blink
like
of an
now?
eye.
Like, would you currently do?
In a blink of an eye. Because I mastered the game. Because all I'm gonna get on there and do is sell my other fucking projects and promote my all the shit that I got going on. So put me in front of everybody, 10 o'clock every Thursday, so I can run my mouth about all the shit I'm doing. Great, thanks. Let's go.
Exactly. Like, because right now the reality game is different, and so from the experience that we had. Like, we are fucking professionals. This shit is nothing to us. Because not for nothing, like, it was really real TV, right? And so even though I know now that the people behind the scenes was setting up certain situations, we didn't know. You know what I'm saying? So the cameras was on us 24 hours a day. We had the basement in the house that we lived in was like a surveillance room. They had TVs all over because they had cameras mounted on the wall. And as you move, them shits will move. If them them shits infrared, they see in the dark. Like, the only privacy you had is when you went in the bathroom, and that's only if you went in the bathroom by yourself. Because if you went in the bathroom with somebody else, they got the right to come in there. So now you got the cameraman on feet with the camera, and then you got the cameras mounted. And then when a director whispered in my ear one day, he walked up to me and said, Babs, the walls talk. Watch what you say. So it was microphones in the headboards of our beds. It was mics all over.
This is worse than Big Brother.
This is the first Big Brother,
But
baby.
you gotta understand, though. Y'all gotta understand the chain of events that y'all saw on TV. Sometimes it didn't match what was being said in each of our individual interviews.
Of course.
It could have been a situation that me and Babs had 2 weeks ago. But if Babs is like the subject of an episode, they'll take something that I said 2 weeks ago and pin it to the new footage to make it. I said something about what's going on currently. And Babs is like, damn, nigga, you said that? I'd be like, no, Babs, I said when we was mad 3 weeks ago. I don't know why they chopped and put that with that. But I never said that about that. Because that's what people don't understand about reality TV. The chain of events, sometimes you'll see the end before you see the beginning.
Yeah. And watch the clothes. Because the clothes will tell you too. Them shits will switch up. And you will still think that they talking about the same situation, but that bitch in a whole nother shirt or a whole nother dress. And so you so busy looking at her mouth and watching her face, you're not paying attention. It's all camera work. It's all camera trick. They'll do a voiceover over this shit.
Reality TV shows have writers.
And then they'll put a voiceover over your shit. Like,
sometimes we would have to wait in a van or whatever car we was riding for hours for them to set up the cameras and the lights, for them to get a different angle. Like, we really learned a lot about film and TV and how TV is made and how it's edited and chopped, and any one of us can produce a show. If MTV give us a show, we know what the fuck to do. We've been up there like absorbing the game for 3 years with the MTV crew, hand and foot. They basically live with us.
Exactly.
So anytime we do videos, we know where to set the camera, and we know to get a different scene, and we know to switch the
know about audio.
We know all that shit.
Yes, because we was mic'd as well. So even though we had, the only times we could cut our mics off is when we was going to sleep.
That's the only time.
And that's the only time we was allowed to cut off our mics. And so sometimes I would cut off my mic when I'm trying to tell somebody something I don't want them to hear. But the sound man could hear. So they like, that bitch mouth is moving, but I can't hear her. So now they run up to you. They like, Babs, I think your battery's dead. I'm like, you got me, nigga. You got me. I turned my mic.
I wonder if they still got all this footage. Like, do they still have all of this somewhere? Just all of the raw footage. And me being that I know I edit videos, and Leash, you in the comments, you already know, like, editing videos and things of that nature. Like, yo, just to go through that whole thing, hours, 24 hours worth of footage.
King Los auditioned and found out it was going to be a group, and he left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, King Los auditioned for making the band, and then years later, Puff came back and signed them. This was years later after we had got dismantled, but King Los was there.
So how was it with the groupies online on tour? That's what I want to know. You know what I'm saying? I want to know, like, how was the can we discuss those things? Am I doing too much?
Give me that groupie love.
Am I doing too much?
Yes, that.
Huh?
Man, it was to the point where I literally think I had something. That's how much traffic it was. It's just to the point where like anytime I would get somewhere where I can check, I would check myself. Even though we was using protection, just the traffic and the number of partners that you have and the amount of pussy being thrown at you is like you'll get tired of it. So and it was at the first 3 months or the first couple of months of touring is cool, but then it becomes pestering because you got certain chicks in Miami, you got certain chicks in Chicago, you got your bitches in Boston, then you got the new bitches in Boston that want to come fuck with you, and they try to put out the old bitch like you fucking with them bum ass bitches, Ness. Yeah. So it becomes complex. You understand? Having bitches is not what it cracked up to be. You got to deal with different personalities, different burdens, different problems. Oh, I need some money, or my mom's not doing well. So niggas like, I get a lot of bitches. Like, you got a lot of problems. You got a lot of bitches. You got a lot of problems. Because you got to deal with each one of those personalities and whatever they going through at that time in their life. So having a lot of bitches is not what it's cracked up to be. You got to have a lot of fucking money. You got to have a lot of fucking time. And you got to be able to listen to all them hoes.
You got to have patience.
Hell yeah. And them bitches would go from state to state. And so, like, if they know you're going to be in another state, they popping up at the next state, too. And so, at the end of the day, it's so easy. They know you coming. They waiting for you. You know what I'm saying? They waiting. They literally waiting. And so, the groupie love is real.
It's scary.
It's serious. It's serious. Yeah, it's real serious.
They'll follow you from state to state.
Yup. I love a stalker.
You even got groupies of groupies. Groupies that follow the groupies of the groupies around.
I love a stalking ass groupie. I ain't gonna hold you.
You got male groupies that knock the regular civilians down to get to you.
Yeah,
they still have those.
Don't think that it's just somebody that want to sleep with you that's a groupie. No. So yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy on that road.
But amidst all that, we did The View with Barbara Walters. We did the last recorded Source Awards. We did Soul Train when Don Cornelius was still alive. Like we had a big fucking impact with only one album. And niggas need to give us our flowers. And Dave Chappelle is the highest we got, but that's just an extent to how impactful we was for him to include our segment of, you know what I mean, on his iconic show. Mm-hmm. And niggas don't even know. The only reason that Dylan didn't, like, Dave Chappelle played Dylan is because Dylan pulled the Dylan. He didn't show up to the Dave Chappelle recording. Like, he didn't show up to everything else we had going on at the time.
Yeah, Dylan was doing his own thing. And speaking of the groupie shit, Dylan never shares his hoes. Dylan was the one that had one bitch.
Never shared.
Dylan would get one bitch and lock himself up in the room with that bitch. We'd be like, we're Dylan. I remember me and Fred to be like, yo, this nigga Dylan. Like, yo, because a lot of the times when we was on the road, me and Sara, before it was a process for us. We went from going on tour in a van to getting a tour bus. We went from sharing rooms to getting our own rooms. And so when I'm sharing a room with Sara don't smoke. You know what I mean? Like Sara ain't even on my type of time, so I'm in the room with Fred. You know what I mean? So me and Fred, like, yo, nigga, I'm in here. I'm not staying in there because this bitch wanna read a book and have fucking, you know, she a singer. She needs to preserve her vocal cords. She ain't even talking. It was time Sara wouldn't even talk to you.
No,
because
right.
she like, yeah, she would not
gotta
talk to you.
preserve.
He was shut
That's
down
her
completely.
instrument.
Yeah, that bitch will write you. You got
No, seriously.
because she got to preserve her vocal cords, and I ain't got time for that. My lungs is mad dirty. I'm smoking listen, gas in the ear.
Yeah, but we wasn't that bad how the TV depicted us to be. The way they made it seemed like we was treating her, it was never like that. We would protect Sara on all levels, all the fucking time because of her introvertness, if you want to say that. You know what I'm saying? Because that she wasn't with the hip hop and the smoking and the drinking and the partying. And you know, the kids today now they call it turning up. When it came to turning up, she wasn't with that because she come from a family-oriented background. So all the turning up and all us talking shit, smoking weed and listening to the music, she wasn't really with that. Like me, Bad.
She was already a mom.
Yeah, we was more hip hop, and then she was kind of like the R&B songstress that kind of like was the icing on the cake because we already had the elements. We already had the female spitter. We had the East Coast spitter. Then we had 2 down South spitters. Then we had Dialine to bring the reggae energy to the shit. Then her coming, she was the only songstress, so she didn't have somebody else like another vocalist in the group to like confide in because she was the only one. But didn't alienate her how the show made it seem. Like we really championed her. We really protected her from a lot of bullshit that they didn't get to show.
Exactly. It was a lot of stuff that they didn't show. Like, and so me and Sara was always cool until, you know, unless it was an incident, you know, with Tony. And now when I look back at that situation, I'm not gonna hold you. I feel like he did what he was supposed to do. Like as a husband, as a manager, like he stayed on her. He didn't give a fuck what none of us was talking about. Like at the end of the day, he was riding. And even though I didn't know him back then. So I'm like, yo, nigga, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know you. What the fuck you think? I'm on that type of time. But when I look back at it, I'm like, yo, he did everything that he was supposed to do. And he got balked on like he was supposed to get balked on too. But he did everything he was supposed to do.
Yeah.
5. What? So, I mean, go ahead, Miss Lissa.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Double Dutch. Earlier, you guys were talking about groupies, male groupie, female groupie. So your life went from, you know, it was like a quick change. How could you tell who was genuine from your initial group of friends and who was now a new reality TV groupie? And do you still have that problem?
For me, it just was the transition. You know, like behind the scenes, they was telling us a lot of things that we was going to be facing, like the groupies and start becoming a drug, becoming famous and popular becomes a drug. And some of us handled it better than others. So as the groupies, like, I mean, I did my first part of turning up, but after a while, I was like, shit, we got a job to do. We out here promoting this project. We trying to do bigger things. We trying to work on a second album at that time. So it was like, all right, I got that out of my system. I know what tour life is like. So I was always on the next thing. Like, what's next? What we going to do next? So I kind of got it out of my system a little bit faster than probably any other of my band members did. That was just personally for me, my experience.
No, but I mean, like any of your friends, like were there anybody that was around you that you found out later it wasn't genuine? Like once you got on, they started changing. They became a groupie. They were not really all about being
basically everybody. Basically everybody.
You said everybody?
Family and friends, everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone. Like Luck said, it was like the Willy Wonka ticket. Who don't want to be attached to somebody with the Willy Wonka ticket? It's the biggest ticket in town. It's making a fucking band. It's the second installment with an all-black cast from everybody from which way but up. Like, and they put us all in one space and try to make an album that nobody's never heard before. So it was like they was making magic right in front of the, you know, the people's eyes.
Right.
And the day that me and Fred fought, we beat out the Osbournes, which was the biggest show over there on MTV at the time that had the highest ratings. So we were the big shows at that time. So that's what I'm saying. Besides us, what they showed and us being ratchet and fighting and going through it, like we was breaking barriers as far as black shows are concerned. And these what niggas need to dig up on it. They always talk about the negative shit, walking for Cheesecake, the fist fights, the fights, but they never talk about gold. We went gold within 2 months. You know what I mean? We still did like I grew up watching Soul Train. So to be on Soul Train, you know how much that meant to me.
Crazy.
Don Cordelia, to be in rap, watching it 2 years prior. Like I can't wait till I get there. Now we on there spitting.
Right.
Sitting next to Barbara Walters and Star Jones on The View.
That's crazy.
Like this is iconic things. Being on the Source Awards, actually having a performance slot. Like people don't get these type of things now. These things are like, we have to pay for these things. It's a more pay to play thing than it ever was. Back when we was on, we got on with sheer talent. If you had talent, niggas believed in you, either the niggas in the hood can take you to somebody that can put you on, or they took the money out their pocket and they put you on. Now it's just, you go viral off a dumb song where you punch somebody, now you doing appearances the next week in fucking clubs. You don't even need to be on Love and Hip Hop no more. You can do some fucking goofy dance, or you can get punched or punch someone and become as big as somebody that has a record out. It's just a playing field. But back when we was doing it, you had to have shared talent. Now you can be a comedian. You can be, you know what I'm saying? You can be gay, straight, whatever you want to fucking be. And everything is all fair. Everybody loves everybody. And you don't have to be a gangster no more. You can be who you are, and people respect who you are.
I think that's the gift and the curse. You know, one thing I learned about Donald Trump is that when you speak to an audience, that audience will ride with you. You know what I mean? So like, I feel like, you know, back then it might have been with the people in control or the gatekeepers wanted to have out. You know what I mean? I feel like nowadays, like you said, if there's a gay rapper, there's people in the middle of somewhere, some town, somewhere that could relate to the music that they making. And I feel like that's where a lot of artists lose themselves. It took me years to learn that. Like, you could be nice and spit bars all day, but the people who gonna buy your music are the people who identify with it, the people who you speak to, the people who like, yo, Babs, when you spit this verse right here, it made me feel like this. Yo, Ness, when you said such and such, it just took me back to a place like, yo, look, you helped me get through this. You know what I mean? So those are the people who I feel like resonate. So I feel like it's the gift and curse. Now you're right. Like you can have Island Boys come out and they could pop. Or you can have, you know, a bunch of other artists, you know, and they work hard online and they get discovered. So it's definitely easier nowadays than it was back then, because it was only 7 publications. It was like the Source magazine, Double XL, Word Up. You know what I'm saying?
Like, no, I followed your shit when you and Cat One, when y'all was doing y'all Source shit. Like I actually was working around that time, and I would go get the sources and follow y'all when they was following y'all around when you went on your prime. Like I followed your whole story.
Thank you. That to me is like the first reality show without the cameras. Like it was like,
you know what I'm saying? Like
y'all
don't know that though. Niggas don't know that about, like, that's how they was ushering you and getting you familiar with the fans and bringing people in your world. That was actually the first reality, because they did a play every episode, like every magazine had like a documentation of your careers and like how it started to where it's like to how it's going now, like type of thing.
Yeah, shout out to Aaliyah King. Shout out to Aaliyah King. That was how, you know, that was how I did, you know, like just really quick. The first time that I even knew what was going on, like this girl came to school and she was following me around. It's the first day of school. I'm popping. I got a record deal, whatever. So then like she pulled me in the bathroom and she was like, yo, look, the bell had rang and I saw her still walking around. Me, I'm doing whatever I want to do in school. So I'm like, yo, you lost? I'm like, you lost? You need help finding your class, whatever like that? And she pulled me into the bathroom. She was like, look, I got to really be honest with you. I got to tell you the truth. I thought Shorty was going to tell me she got a crush on me, or I thought it was going to be some, you know, something crazy. She was like, I don't go to the school. I'm Aaliyah King from the Source magazine, and I'm here to follow you around. I'm like, all right, it's lit. Come on, bitch, you know, and then come on, let's take you everywhere around. but, you know, so that was definitely a crazy experience. And shout out to
she snuck in the school, or did she have authorization?
Yeah, she snuck in the school. She snuck in the school.
What?
So she said, yeah, but you gotta remember, and the high school that I went to, all the GMOs had all the girls built like grown women. You know what I'm saying? So it's like she you know, she fit in. She had a young baby face. She only 20-something years old at the time, and you know, the rest of us is pumped up on McDonald's and stuff. So, you know, everybody it just looked the same.
That's crazy.
Big Snow. What's good, Snow? I see you.
Shout out Marcus in the comments. Yo, I was trying to get the insights from the last view. I put it up on the page already from the first one, but it was definitely rocking, and it's definitely historic. And I feel like, again, I feel honored to even be a part of this situation. So, like, Ness, like, to go moving forward. So, just like me, you, and Babs, we got into the battle scene. So right. How did you transition into ripping these heads off? Like,
it's the same. Like it's like everything else in my life, man. Just the minute I do it, niggas try to downplay it. Oh, you doing that? Why you still doing that? Right. You should. It's like, yo, I'm doing this. This is what I'm doing. Is if y'all behind it or not. Like, and I always felt with the J Mill battles, it was always in the air for me to get back on that type of platform. And Babs could tell you, Puff was always pushing for J Mill's rematch. Like, just kept to me. Like, we almost got into a shout match. I mean, bro, I'm not gonna battle the nigga. Like, I'm trying to get past that, because it kind of had spilled over into the street. So like, niggas were making DVDs, and then Vado would be shouting in the back of J Mill's "fuck Ness," and like, it just got big, and I just was trying to be done with it. And Puff was trying to reopen the fucking wound again and again by having a rematch. But the rematch, people don't know. Fun fact: the rematch was supposed to happen the night that J Mill's battled Sire Castro, and that was out in front of Daddy's house, where you know J Mill's at the infamous like "big in my trouble" or what, and looked up to the sky. Like, that was supposed to be the rematch that night. We was actually up there recording for the Making the Band album that night.
Was Ness on the card where that man didn't pay us the money, Babs? Me and Ness been on.
Yeah, he was on that card.
Yo, Ness, that man owed me $25,000.
Hold up. I think Ness was the only one that got money, because Ness got a deposit. Am I correct?
I got 10% of the money we were supposed to get, so I got $500.
Yeah, Ness got a deposit because he pulled that Making the Band card. You know what I'm talking about?
First person to get a performance fee for a battle. Duly noted. Thank you, Babs, for that one. Thank you.
Nobody gave me the drop. Like, now y'all bad back for that, because we was all rocking. No, hold up. Me and you in every video from that night, you behind me, bitch, rewind, and all of this other shit. Like, so me and you was super tight back then, you know, back then and today. Shout out to everybody who's a part of that. But like, nigga, why y'all, you know, facts? Shut up. Why y'all ain't tell me about the 10%? Y'all got me in there like great killing.
Remember, Ness broke into his own situation. But I remember Ness saying, because, you know, I remember him like, yo, fuck that shit. I was on TV. I got a fucking platinum record. You know what I'm talking about? I'm eating Ness, Making the Band. Like, none of these niggas ain't never had no deal. None of he was like, I got a deal, nigga. Like, so at the end of the day, he was like, I need to get paid because he had a deal. I remember that shit.
I got the same criteria.
Well, you didn't have the same energy that Ness was giving, baby.
You did
the
not.
hell?
Wait, I was on Def Jam. Wait, I was on Def Jam. I have
for that cheesecake, love.
That's the only thing. I ain't work for no cheesecake, but I'm on the back.
But you was getting cheesecake. She was still getting cheesecake.
I'm on the backstage soundtrack. I'm on the Exit Wound soundtrack. I'm on a bunch of albums. I'm on the
you don't get what you worth. You get what you negotiate.
Yeah, okay? the Remy battle was on TV every day for 9 years, so I couldn't pull that.
You didn't negotiate properly. You
didn't say that then. Say that then.
I'm saying it for you, baby.
Look, what Babs is trying to tell you, like, I was stern. Like, I was like really stern. Like, I was like,
she didn't tell me.
You had a different approach.
No. I was like, asshole.
That's how I don't play.
I hadn't talked to you in a minute. Me and Babs was talking every day up into the battle, and like the day of the battle and after the battle. So she was telling me, yo, this, that, and the fourth. And the same intel she was giving me, I'm already thinking you had the same intel.
Nah. What about your friends?
Nigga, I ain't tell that nigga nigga.
The squeaky wheel gets the oil, baby.
Nigga, exactly. Close mouth.
No, but you put the battery in my back. She was like, oh, Ness, you my bro. these niggas got some bread. I don't know how much they got, but they got some bread. You recording for an album. You are fresh off TV. You got all this shit going on. You got a single out in the street. No, make them niggas give you some money. That's what you said, sis.
At the time,
Shout out to Bunny.
At the time,
Big Bucks Bunny.
We had a whole mixtape together. Me, her,
They don't
Lady,
care about
and
that stuff, okay? Now I have a question though, because you guys mentioned earlier when the band was dismantled, and that was something that was devastating to viewers. But I do want to know how you felt, but also at the end of Diddy's announcement, he said the only two he was still gonna rock with was you two, and y'all was gonna become like your own entity. Like, what happened with that?
Bonnie and Clyde.
Bonnie and Clyde, nigga. Ness, what happened?
As Babs, I took the deal. I took the deal, and at the time, I'm gonna keep it real. Wasn't nobody else giving me any type of offers, so Bad Boy was the only one that was going. Was trying to exercise the option to sign me at the time after the band had got dismantled. The Rockefellers wasn't calling, nobody else was calling. So like I had built a relationship. I had did another demo. I had recorded some new music with some of the producers that was up there, D. Dofat, Yogi, and I presented to the Puff, and that's how I got my second deal, my solo deal. But at that time, the project was supposed to be Bonnie and Clyde, Babs and Ness. We had write-ups in the source. We had a few songs they was heating up. We had white labels. She had a single. I had a single. We both had our own song. Then we had a song we had together. And however it happened, Babs wasn't comfortable with whatever deal they was offering. And then they told me something different. Like, I don't know whatever the fuck they spent me, but they just, whatever they was like, yo, we're going to move forward with you because Babs, we having a long time negotiating some bullshit.
Sip slow.
Let's go to Babs for more info.
Yeah.
Sip slow, sis. Sip slow.
Let's go to Babs for more.
Don't play with
No, real rap, real shit. This is what really happened. And I respected Babs for that because she always invested in herself. And she always was confident in her pen and her potential and what she could bring to the game. And she walked away from that. And that was big shit. At the time, economically, you know what I mean? I could pop my shit, poke my chest out, but I couldn't walk away from what they was offering at the time. And Babs did. And it proves the point. She got her own business now. She, you know what I'm saying? She got her own platform. People see it around the world. And she stuck to her
movies.
It stuck to her gun. She was in fucking state property too. I wasn't. That's a fucking Philly-based fucking movie around a Philly-based gang in Brooklyn. Female MC is in the fucking movie before I'm in the fucking movie. So that's a testament to her fucking resiliency and her confidence in her pen and what she can bring to the game. Me, I took the fucking deal because I thought my sister was coming along with me, and then they pulled me in. And once I signed, they was like, nah, fucking Babs ain't gonna do it. And then I was just left by myself, and then I just was like, fuck it. But I only want to do it because somebody from that came in the game with me was actually doing it. And then that's how they got me. They pulled me in by saying Babs was gonna do it. Then when I signed the paper, they was like, no, Babs ain't gonna do it. So it wasn't like a conspiracy. The only reason I took the solo deals because they had presented to me that me and Babs would be doing a joint venture.
That's a good question, Just. What's the one lesson y'all learned from Diddy that you still use to this day?
Man, never let him see you sweat. Never look like a bum. You always got to show up, man.
Everybody don't speak up at all.
I'm just telling you, man, what I learned from that guy, man. You never let him see you sweat. You can't complain. This game is a cutthroat game, and you always got to look like a fucking star 24/7. Never let niggas see you off.
Do y'all remember the saying that was on the wall, the sleep is forbidden thing? Do y'all still know that whole monologue?
I never knew it from the beginning. Remember, I came in the house after they got in, so I missed that part when they was told that they had to learn that shit.
They had to memorize that. That was the Lord's Prayer.
All I know is sleeping is forbidden. Some other shit. I don't fucking know.
All that shit they was winging it. It's what I'm trying to. Everything that we did, they was winging it. Even when we walked for Cheesecake, they didn't know what to do with it. It was all uncharted territory. Puff didn't know fucking what to do. He did the deal with MTV, and the cameras start rolling the second week, like the next week of it. They didn't know what to do. They was freestyling. So even the whole Cheesecake walk is him just winging it. Like, yeah, oh yeah, me and him had words. A couple other people had words in group. Yeah, yeah, Cheesecake. Oh yeah, I'm hungry too. Oh, you hungry? Yeah, I would like a piece of cheesecake. Well, you know what? Guess what?
Yeah,
Yeah, that shit
That
is
is what
going on
happened.
as it's going on as it's going on. Shout out
That
to
is
Bunny
how
Miss
it happened.
Lissa. Swaggy, what's good? Now, yeah, it was going on while it was going on. That situation was insane.
Before they shut us down, we had 7,000 viewers in the last live. I just want to shout that out right quick.
Ow.
Go ahead.
Yo, not for nothing, real quick, Ness, thank you for coming. And like me and Ness, for people to be, listen, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to fucking do a documentary with all of my band members because it's so many details that need to be told. We will be sitting on this live for fucking
real.
3, 4, 5 hours. And so I need to really write this out, break down all the things, because you got to remember we had 3 seasons. We went from an audition process to preparing for an album to an actual album coming out, and now we on tour. And then what happened after the fact? Yes. I want to shout out to Chopper. I want to shout out to Sara. I want to shout out to Frank, and I want to shout out to Dillon, who will be coming on the show, I think next week. I think it's next week he's coming up here, next week or the week after. But Dillon will be coming up here. And I want to shout out to all my band members because only us 6 could truly understand what happened, what we went through. We all went through it together. 6 people from different walks of lives who came together and made something happen, who made history. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Made ourselves immortal. Attached ourselves to one of the biggest moguls in the game. Shout out to P. Diddy. Shout out to MTV. And I will always be grateful for the Cheesecake Walk. You know what I'm saying? I will always be grateful for the opportunity that Puff gave me because he gave me that opportunity. He gave me that deal. He gave me that check. So I will always be grateful for that. And so shout out to us, man. Shout out to the motherfucking band. You already know the vibes.
And also shout out to y'all. Also, shout out to y'all for not giving up because there's a lot of people who came and went in the industry. There's people who have accomplished more than what all of us have accomplished, and you don't hear from them anymore. So resilience and consistency beats out talent any day. You know what I mean? And I love the evolution that is involved with, y'all, I could throw myself in here, but I'm gonna give y'all flowers. But the evolution, what up, Clint Coley, that came with it. Like you guys, like you said, Babs not only, raps and spit her shit, but now Babs is the number 1 owner of the number 1 female battle league in the world. Babs has gone on to do different movies. Babs has so many things in the clip. You with the battle rapping, and outside of that, you being an entrepreneur, you out here, you killing these verses, and then you got the Cheesecake thing, and everybody's gonna buy that. See Clint Coley, Philly royalty in here, so he gonna get some cheesecake too. So I just think it's dope that you guys keep evolving. And even though we came in the game one way and had one situation, God has allowed other doors to open. And I know that this is not the end because Babs is writing movies. Babs is going to her next, cycle in life. So I just really think it's dope. And I'm really appreciative of you guys' resilience and just determination to just keep going.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it. And shout out to you, Ness, for grinding. You already know we've been grinding, man. The grind don't fucking stop, man. The grind don't stop. And this is my family. And people always ask, do you still speak to the band members? I will always speak to them. Chopper get on my fucking nerves, but I will always love Chopper. And shout out to the band, the whole band. And I'm gonna have Sara up here soon. But like I said, Dillon is next up to bat. So y'all stay tuned, and I am gonna get this documentary done because y'all really need to get in tune, and we need all of us together. Like I haven't sat in the room with all my band members in years. I just want to sit with them. I want to eat good, like how we used to eat the villa. Remember that, Ness? Always getting our shrimp, our clams, our mussels with that good garlic sauce. You already know the vibe, and so good times, man. Good times forever and forever, and that's how that goes.
Before we go, speaking of grinding and good times, we had Freddie P on the show, and he said he was grinding and having a good time with somebody on production. Did you have any secret love affairs or any romances that you could now spill the tea about? Or was it anybody that was like secretly having an exchange that maybe we didn't see on camera? Both
Me?
of you? Either. I'm really asking you. Babs is on the show with us every day. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Chill, son, chill. Don't let Lissa go.
Oh, Babs be living out
Whoa!
Don't let Miss Lissa
Whoa!
Yo, Ness, listen to me. Babs is real scary. Babs don't be trying to give up nothing. She walks you know what I mean? Like that song, Johnny Cash, I Walk the Line. Babs tries to keep it really clean on
As
here.
you know, we had media training that.
Yeah, we had
Ness, we out in these streets. Yo, bro, look.
Yo,
Bro, Ness, we out in these streets. We here today. Okay? If you got something to say, you say it.
Yeah.
We had media
you know
training.
Statute
We
of
gonna keep it.
limitation.
Don't
just
let
gonna
Babs
keep it.
stop you because you was looking to the sky ready to say something. You said, me? You voluntarily was ready to talk about something.
No,
that
this is what I
on
was
your
going to
chest.
say. This is what I was going to say. This is what
Get
I
it
was
off
going to
your
say.
chest.
No, I'm not going to say. Nobody had really nobody. Everybody was caught up. Everybody was loving themselves. Everybody was riding that
What?
fucking. Everybody was
you
loving
lying because
themselves.
Freddie said he had love affair with the lady
what
from
kind of-
We
production.
ain't talking about Freddie
What kind
right
of
now.
positivity
No,
is
because
that, man?
we talking about the band as a collective.
Nobody
He
would
said
hear that
everybody.
What I'm trying to
positivity.
tell you is
We were
everybody
loving
had their
ourselves.
own.
I'm sorry.
Listen,
Fuck
listen. What I'm
outta
trying to
here.
tell y'all. We had our own cult following. Every city we show it to, it'd be 100 girls and guys for Babs. It'd be 100 niggas for me. It'd be 100 niggas for Chopper. It'd be 100 niggas for Dial. Everybody loved each one of us. We was like the fucking Power Rangers. Some people love the Pink Ranger. Some like the black one. Some like Tommy. Some like the blue one. That's how the fuck all of us was. We was like the.
Yo, just
we was.
because you talking
But we want to know if it was like Saved by the Bell. Was
let me-
anybody was
No,
there
what I'm
something
trying to
that
tell you is,
Kelly
You
and
didn't
Scream?
fool me.
what I'm trying to tell you, we
Yo,
was so
he
lit.
tried to
We-
speak aggressive.
Not the Power Rangers.
Now, just what I'm trying to tell you, we was so
He
lit.
been talking, baby. We
worried
let him
about.
talk, but now we asking him questions.
No, what I'm trying to tell y'all, listen. It was
We'll
so
fight you.
lit. We wasn't worried about having no relationships and no backdoor types of fucking situationships with people. We was lit. Y'all don't understand how fucking lit we was. We was super duper lit. If Instagram existed back then, we would be those guys riding the G5s, hopping out of the fucking stretch limousines, eating at the biggest places, shopping and shit. Motherfuckers just inviting us into stores, telling us to get whatever, every store. We was the hip hop ratchet reality royalty.
Sound like loving ourselves. Listen, all that was beautiful. You got really aggressive. You spoke something. You did magic tricks in front of me. Woo, 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 woo. But you didn't answer the question.
Hello.
No. Nobody was on that. We didn't care about all that. We was rock stars. Can nobody really be with us? You'd be with us today, and then you'll come back, and we would have knew somebody else. That's how lit we was. We was assholes. We'll be talking to 5 different bitches and niggas right in front of their faces.
I seen Babs like it's past tense. You don't see
like yo,
Babs is
bitch,
still on that
down.
wave.
You sit down. You roll this L.
Yo,
you give me your number. Yo, you crack them crab legs right there. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
You doing your taxes.
Yo,
you
yeah, you do that. You do that. Like, we really had people out there like fucking like minions. We had like the Attack of the Clones. Like, we had motherfuckers running into brick walls for us. You don't understand how lit we was. Like, we was that iconic. Like, we had our own paper soldiers in every city. Motherfuckers lining up to protect us and get us high and take us shopping and buy us shit.
Was you screwing anybody? And
No.
There
was too much going on too.
Bro.
No, we wasn't doing nothing.
That's probably the problem.
Did you fuck Red
Yo, and guess what? That's probably the problem. That's probably why. Okay?
No.
Maybe I should have took some Maybe I should have fucked Eric Sermon. Maybe.
I'm just trying to tell y'all, we was in our own world back then. We wasn't really trying to have no relationships with nobody. We was doing too much. We had too much going on. We was every day we was somewhere new in front of somebody that we watched previously on TV or just had met that year that was lit? Like we was the lit of the lit motherfuckers that year.
That's
All right.
Now, then
Fine.
we wasn't doing
Moving
nothing.
along. That's right, Kid Swag. I should have been smashing everybody in Def Jam. All right? Shit, I was running around here being a hardcore dyke, I can't say that, being hardcore gangster AG, wearing my stuff a certain way, worrying about being hard. I said, put on some lipstick.
Man, this shit was like a movie, man.
What chick at Def Jam that you slept with? You were sleeping with Foxy?
No, actually, I was too young and I wasn't into my sexuality back then, and I wasn't the lady luck that I am today. I was very shy. I remember back then being like that wasn't the most popular thing in the world to do. But if the times have changed, if I am who I am now, everybody, what?
That's
but
what I'm saying.
Like,
once you get into his life, your caliber of bitches go up. So before Rizzo, I'm fucking.
No, bro.
What I'm trying to tell you, listen, let me talk. So
at the guest talk.
Speak of my career, I'm fucking with the baddest bitch in the city that own the biggest hair salon. Shit like that. You see what I'm saying? I ain't got no time to be fucking with no other stars. I'm fucking with these other boys.
Ness, you off. You can't hear you, Ness. I can't hear you, Ness. I can't hear you.
I don't want nobody to the same shit I'm doing.
Now, I hear you. But when I was on Def Jam, being out the closet wasn't the most popular thing. You're a straight man. You could do all that. And there was girls who would flirt a little bit, but I was so scared and nervous. I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm dressing the way, man, it was this weird time, man. It was a weird time. But bottom line, now these girls are coming out the closet, and I'm like, oh, no wonder we were so close. And now, no wonder, you into that now? You get what I'm saying? But back then, it was a hush-hush situation. I was dressing like that, still trying to act straight.
Right. I feel you.
Fooling myself.
So how do you feel now that everybody is like, all that shit's been torn down? Do you feel as though that you could have been more of
I don't ever have them thoughts. God has me exactly where he want me. I never felt like that. Like, I wish everybody was gay back then, or look, if anything, I would say we was ahead of our time. Or I was ahead of my time because the way social media is now, and the way it's easier for artists, like you said earlier, to put music out and things of that nature. But I don't feel no kind of way. You know what I mean? And
I wish you could have took a girl to your prom.
Well, see, they wasn't dressing back then the way they dressing now. Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, you do.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know about if it was like the way it is today, I probably would have. I probably would have took 2 girls to the prom. You know me. You know what I'm saying? But it was just different back then.
What I'm saying is a certain life that you in, and then you just trying to keep upping it, and then you never be satisfied. So at that time, I ain't worried about nobody or artistry. I'm worried about somebody that's like really trying to get their own business shit going. Somebody that's not doing what everybody else is doing. So I wasn't really worried about it. But I seen a lot of people I exchanged phone numbers with certain people, but it never went nowhere because I see them all the time. So you really can't. It's like one of your, it's like your peer almost. It's like fucking somebody when you work at the McDonald's and you fucking somebody, the bitch that work at the cashier. You gotta see this bitch every day. Like, I don't want to see the bitch. It's like, so it'd be on that type of tip. So yeah, like the opportunity was there, but nobody wasn't really on that. We was too busy on what we was doing.
Yeah,
y'all lucky. I wasn't who I am now back then. Y'all lucky. That's what I'm saying. Cause I know a couple of y'all. I was like,
that shit get old quick though, man. That Baz, am I lying? When that shit get old quick, that shit becomes annoying after a while. You gotta understand.
What you talking about because
2 phones, they ringing back to back, each one of them. Motherfuckers calling this phone, then they calling that phone, then they calling this phone, then they calling that phone, then they call that shit.
I remember one time I was talking to a chick and I was like, yeah, because remember when we was at the diner and she was like, the diner? We ain't go to no diner.
Yeah, me and Babs, we be buying $1,000 plates of seafood and shit. Plates was $1,000 and all that. Like niggas don't, we did it like that in every fucking city. Me and Babs find the seafood place and go get all the lobsters and the crab and the shrimp and the oysters and everything.
It's my life now.
Babs, like why y'all?
That's your life now, La? Can I meet with
now.
you? Y'all know you my rich friend. It was just as well.
Nah, bitch, you couldn't even call me and tell me Ness was getting paid. Like you can't get it. Dollar from luck. Oh shit.
Yo, me and Babs are seafood lovers.
You see how luck is? Luck wants you to tell her what another nigga getting. You know what I'm saying? Look, Bag, you ain't called me and tell me Ness was getting money. How I'm gonna tell you what Ness getting? I ain't gonna tell Ness what you getting.
There you go.
I got it. I forgot about my 1:30 meeting. Yo, so go ahead, Miss Lissa.
Here you go.
This was an amazing show. Thank you so much, Ness. For anyone that wants to get in contact with you or if you have any shout outs, please do so right now.
Shout out to the Loop Gang, 54ville.
What?
ENT, 1122. Members only. Missy Porter, Ness Cheesecake, KBM Live.
What?
Philadelphia. Shout out to my homegirl, Bab. Shout out to my other sis, Luck. We here, man. We still around. We got longevity. Fuck what the niggas be talking about. We still around. What? Niggas still want to interview us. They still want us to pay us to come to their fucking clubs and drink and pop bottles and we still get paid to party, motherfuckers. What? So fuck you niggas.
Okay.
That's why legends live forever.
I need
and we
a
still
box
loving
of
ourselves.
cheesecake. I'm coming to
You
Philly.
could have gave me a shout out, nigga, but don't worry about that.
What?
Now,
wait,
make sure you are following Bacon, Egg, and Cheese on Instagram, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Show some love to the Queen of the Ring while you are there. Miss Lissa is my name. Don't worry, you won't forget it. And show some love to Lady Luck Enterprises as well by hitting the link in her bio. And if you want to know more about me, just go to MissLissaKnows.com where you can get these sunglasses, information, and much more. If you make a purchase and enter the code Ness, then the price won't be any stress. Ow.
And
until next time.
Wait, real quick, Ness. I'm coming to Philly. I don't know who's screaming what in the background, but make sure he got a pound for me when I touch down. You already know how it go. And I need my box of cheesecake so I could take it home to all my bitches. Yeah.
Me too.
It's a great show. Thank you again, Ness.
Always leave during our song.
Shout out to Ness and the whole Bad Boy family. You heard? She's about to wake that ass up. Girl, who you playing with? Wake that ass up. Big Daddy, when you wake your ass up. Yo, what is you waiting for? Wake that ass up. After we do the show, what?
I love y'all. See y'all Wednesday.